Standing by.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Complete.
Tajigen is your favorite superstar, the multi-dimensional Tajigen, Gaiden, a sentient star cluster in VTuber form. Welcome to the second edition of Tajigen Toku Tuesday Talk, or just Toku Tuesday Talk so we can say triple T and have even more of an alliteration. Great to see you all. Happy Tuesday/Wednesday for you all. So yes, we had the watch along earlier on my Discord server of Ultraman Blazar number 2. Kamen Rider Geats number 44 is getting very close towards the end of the series. And then Osama Sentai King-Ohger number 20. Very, very important episode there. The last one we're going to talk about here. Whoa, so yes, you know, I realized before the stream started that I kind of don't know what to say about these episodes, even for like 15 minutes for each of them, which is what I want to do. Because last week I also ended up talking about other things besides the episodes. So maybe I should start, like, next time I watch them, I start making notes about them. There are quite a few things I got, yeah, because I kind of forgot what I saw in the episodes already. So hopefully I have enough to say here. If I don't, you know, there's other things I can find to talk about related to the series themselves or other things peripherally related to it. So, well, yeah, we're not gonna start talking about them yet. I want to start in a few minutes talking about Ultraman Blazar number 2. Many things to unpack there. Even if I can't find quite a few things to talk about, there's some stuff here and there to think about for sure. So yeah. Yeah, first of all, I'm starting to realize that I may want to change the format of how Tajigen Toku Tuesday Talk is going to be from here on. What those changes are going to be, I'm just thinking about them myself. But yeah, actually, let me start setting things up here. I need the logo for... So this is the King-Ohger logo, right? I'm gonna get the Blazar logo set up. Let's see. See, the way I did it last time is that I used the same source for all three of them. But what I really should have done is use a different one for each of them. So I'm gonna start setting up the Blazar logo as its own source. But we're not gonna talk about that yet. I'm just gonna set it up. Well, I can begin remembering what happened in the second episode. Yeah. I'm already thinking about a few things to say, but I'm gonna save that for later. Also, disclaimer again. I don't know if disclaimer is the right word for this, but my air conditioner is still noisy. So sometimes it's picked up. Hopefully not too much. I wonder if we could just make the logo be this big. Maybe I should do that. Like on this side. Yeah, a little bit smaller. A little bit smaller will do. That will do, actually. But yeah. You know, it is really fun. It is really fun to watch Ultraman Blazar. To have it immediately be followed by Kamen Rider. Yeah, Ultraman followed by Kamen Rider followed by King-Ohger. By the way, I just remembered something. I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but this Friday is the 21st. Already a lot of people are aware, you know, Tokusatsu fans are aware that Shin Kamen Rider releases digitally on Prime Video, and all of that. I'm gonna be watching it, of course. Not that day though, because I'm gonna be busy with 2 live streams, but I'll watch it as soon as I can. I mean, Saturday is also gonna be busy. Like, I have. Wait, actually no. Saturday might be the day I can watch it. Saturday I don't have a stream. I do have work. But yeah, if I had both of them, I wouldn't be able to. That's the point. But yeah, the way we're gonna do it is that I'm probably gonna watch it on Saturday. Sunday I'm probably not gonna have time. I'm gonna have work and the live stream, the Japanese learning stream, number 21. And yes, I still haven't done anything. Didn't do anything on Renshu yesterday. Haven't done anything today. Not gonna do anything today. There's some other things I need to get done after the stream today. Unfortunately today, I took like a 3-hour nap once again. Again, that weird thing happened where I downed an entire energy drink. I laid down a little bit just to kind of rest, you know, feel myself rested for a little bit before the energies kicked in. The rest of the energies kicked in because already some kicked in. And then I just fell asleep for like 3+ hours. What the hell, man? What the hell? This human form of mine can be so funky sometimes, you know? But yeah. That's the way it is when you're a star cluster that takes a human form. When you're actually not human, you know? So yeah, let me begin looking up the wiki for Ultraman Blazar. The wiki pages. You know, for the most part for this, the Tokupedia pages can be trusted well. And I know there's heavy moderation on them, so they can be just fine. Let's see. Ultraman Blazar. They still don't have the episodes listed on the page of the show itself. They need to do that in the Ultra Wiki. But yeah, I can probably find it somewhere. Yeah, Gedos. Gedos was the kaiji of the week. The man who created Scarred is the name of the episode. Yeah, the episode like title cards are still so good. Can't show them here, but I recommend you watch them. They're still in that classic Ultraman style so much that Ultraman does so well. I'm starting to get so hyped up to be watching more and more Ultraman. Again, there was a sort of renaissance in my sort of mentality towards Tokusatsu earlier this year that made me be so motivated to watch Super Sentai. Not so much for Ultraman, but now it's the opposite of that. I'm not as pumped for the rest of Super Sentai, and I am pumped for the rest of Ultraman. And I'm not talking about the current series, I'm talking about like all the series overall. Like watching the entirety of their history. I've been really pumped to do that for Ultraman. Something about it. Something about how it's like there's more continuity in terms of like theming and in terms of like the actual story of what's happening in that makes me really love it. That's what makes me really love it there. And I want to try watching the entirety of Ultraman, like everything that has ever been aired, every movie, every series. More than that, not for now. It reminds me that I still unfortunately didn't read the original Kamen Rider manga, nor the Shin Kamen Rider prequel manga, which I said I would before Shin Kamen Rider came out, and I didn't. So I'm just gonna watch it. I'm just gonna watch it on Saturday. If I can, I might make time for the prequel manga, depending on how long it is. It was a few volumes, I think, or rather not volumes, a few issues. If issues apply to manga, manga is a little bit different than Western comic books, and by Western I mean in the US. But yeah, I still don't quite get how manga is published, you know. Kamen Rider Spirits, for example, is like one chapter or episode even on a big. The way they handle manga is that they don't have their own individual thing until they collect it in a trade paperback, if you will, or an omnibus. They are on another magazine dedicated to manga, which is this humongous thing, like a huge thing. Shonen Jump Weekly, for example, like very big. I have one of them actually. I don't know what it is. I think it may have been one of the many shonen something. Like Shonen Jump is one thing, but there's like others with the shonen in it. And I have one of them. I actually have a physical one that was gifted to me a long time ago. There's a lot there that I don't know. I think there may have been something like from One Piece or Naruto, or you know, a famous one. But yeah, I don't know. But I'm definitely gonna endeavor to read that prequel manga whenever I can. I'm already getting some ideas of other things I can do with watch-alongs. Or rather, no, sorry, things to watch. Not really watch-alongs like the one we have before this. But yeah. Ultraman, I think, does have a manga here and there. not as much as Rider. Kamen Rider out of the three we have right here is the one that has the most. The most out of any tokusatsu as far as I know. Though I could be mistaken, but yeah. Even if you include comic books, like the Ultraman comic books by Marvel, Power Rangers comic books, which I wish, I wish they did that for Sentai instead. Sentai deserves like a huge manga that is always ongoing or something. It really deserves that. I know there was a Jetman manga, but I don't know much else about that. But yeah, we're almost ready to talk about Ultraman Blazar. Those are my thoughts in general, Those are my thoughts in general of what's happening with Tokusatsu. I do want to watch more Sentai series. I'm also pumped for that, but finding the time for that recently has been a struggle, I think. Kind of a struggle. And I also wanted to go beyond, Metal Heroes, even start to watch Pretty Cure, not Tokusatsu, but so similar to it. There's many formulae that I think that I love to see in Tokusatsu. Modern Tokusatsu is kind of different than that, but yeah, Ultraman Blazar kind of has that a little bit. So yeah, let's begin talking about Blazar. Ultraman Blazar. I love, first of all, let's talk about that name. The name of the eponymous Ultraman Blazar. Not Hiromagento, but the Ultraman identity, rather. Yeah, first of all, I'm wondering if it's gonna be one of those symbiote things that they had before. Like Ultra 7, I think was, the original Ultraman was, Ultraman Z was. Symbiosis, right? Symbiosis is what that is. That's what it is. They are symbiotes, and they're very powerful creatures because of that, not just because they're gigantic. By merging with a human, they become even more powerful, and of course, humans become even more powerful. Ultraman on their own can do a lot, but not as much as they would if they fuse with a human being. And I love that concept so much. Symbiosis, two minds joining together to expand their existence, their intelligence, is one of the things I'm the most in love with. I mean, I am a star cluster. Which means, well, yeah. Let me change the zoom in of myself here. Actually, never mind. I wanted to change the way the eyes were there. I'm gonna do it after the stream. Probably should do it off the stream. Because, my position has changed, so when I do that zoom in, it doesn't look the same as it did before. But anyway, back to Ultraman Blazar. I really like the way they came up with the name there. A Blazar from... I forgot what he said again. What Gento said again to come up with the name. Because he had a vision of where Ultraman Blazar came from. And it's like going beyond the galaxy into another galaxy far away, something like that. A light that is a Blazar, basically. So he was Ultraman Blazar. And he only knew that because, he is Ultraman Blazar. He has that knowledge. He was able to see that vision for a moment. And he was Ultraman Blazar. So they formed a new group called SCARD. What was it? Special Kaiju... What was the name again? Let me see the complete name of this. Special Kaiju Reaction Detachment. I don't know. Oh yeah, they take the second A from K, from Kaiju to make it SCARD, Special Kaiju Reaction Detachment. So let's read the synopsis from the Ultra Wiki. Gento, with Basanga's defeat under his belt, is appointed by GGF Command's Chief of Staff Retsu as the captain of the newly established SCARD, Special Kaiju Reaction Detachment. Gento goes to meet the members of his team. The members he meets, Emi, Teruaki, and Ri, are all one of a kind. That's when news about the emergence of ghettos comes in. They don't have all the members assembled, nor do they have all their equipment yet, but SCAR's first mission is beginning. And so the team assembled, and I love the weapons they used, good stuff with the weapons, good cooperation with Ultraman Blazar, because there was a point in the fight in which they helped him, because he was kind of being held by the tongue of the kaiju ghettos? I'm not sure what that was, but yeah, the team was kind of helping him by shooting some missiles, rockets from a bazooka, I don't know. Well, it was one of those things. It was one of those things that they were shooting right there. So there's already like cooperation between humans and an Ultraman, which is always great to see. Another thing I've fallen in love recently, I started watching Star Trek last year partly because of this. I haven't finished it. It was Enterprise that I started to watch. I need to get back to it. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, the thing I've fallen in love with is like teams of people just working together for the same objective, Hey, it's a reason why I joined a VTuber group. AI Constellations, baby. Alternative Idol Constellations, oh yes. Because all of us, all 9 of us, all a team working together. And also some staff behind the scenes helping us out so much. But yeah, this is also a thing that has made me fall in love with Ultraman and make me and made me want to watch more, so much more. Which is all those teams working together, those human teams, all in uniform and like very military. Well, not military, but very like special operations. Like it's so good. It's so good. Star Trek was similar in that regard. There's sometimes stuff like that in Kamen Rider and Ultraman, but not as much as Ultraman. Ultraman is like the one that does it the most and the best. It's like part of its DNA, as much as like a Kamen Rider motorcycle is. It's not there in every single show, but pretty much every show has one, you know? You see it in the majority of them. Like a Super Sentai Blue, maybe, or rather a Super Sentai Yellow. It's not there all the time, but it's there the most, most of the time. So yeah, I like to see stuff like that for that reason. All members of a team just working together, the whole team aspect in the first place, you know? Only recently have I realized how much I've always loved this. Always. Only recently have I realized it, but it's always been there. And so Ultraman attracted me a lot. This is also a thing that I've started to like about Super Sentai, you know? It's a team of at least 5 people, most of the time, working together. Yeah, that's another comparison I should have made. Sentai being 5 at least. Not all of them have that, right? Like Sun Vulcan. And in a way, Hurricaneger, Go Busters. They're not 5 initially, but yeah. And then some of them have a Ranger die, so even if they form 5, one of them dies and doesn't get replaced, so, you know, they end up with 3 or 4. But it's something like that, you know? That's what I meant to say. And so with Ultraman Blazar, it's fun. They're executing it super well. I love what they did. The fight with Geats was fun. Oh yeah, I remember now the most fun moment when I think in the first episode this was used like a lance. There was a beam lance that Blazar formed. So Geats went into the water, and guess what Ultraman Blazar did? He turned the lance into a fishing rod and got Geats out of the water like that with a beam fishing rod. Have you seen that before? Have you seen anything like that before? I don't know if I've seen anything like that before. A fishing rod made out of a beam like that. My God. The direction is so good. The direction has been, my God, all 3 of these series, like the direction, they have like modernized so many things about them. This really feels like, you know, they are series in the 2020s. The Reiwa era is so bright for Tokusatsu, seriously. Because even until recently, you know, there were a lot of effects that still needed some updating here and there. For the most part, they were fine, but it has really started to become more of a common thing for all of them. King-Ohger is another level on that regard. Let's talk about that later. But yeah, with Ultraman Blazar, great direction. Just absolutely great direction. Oh yeah, I heard that the actors themselves were coming up with lines for their own characters. Like the director or writer, or I don't know who it was, encouraged them, allowed them to put their own lines for some scenes here and there. And there's one scene in which he's kind of forming the team, and he gets one of the members of his previous squad. I mean, Gento. He gets one of the members of his previous squad to become the co-captain of Scarred that they're now forming. And with that, he introduces them to the other, the woman who had the bazooka last episode. She's also a member of the squad. She's really good at investigating because she had really immersed for a moment. Like she was dressed as a fisher as well for a moment. Even offered to have like become the disciple and know how to use a harpoon, a fisher with a harpoon. Sounds kind of fun, right? It does sound kind of fun. But yeah, she really gets immersed, so she's a great member. And yeah, in that scene where they were introducing each other, they made awkward moments look funny. They made awkward moments look very charming, in which there's an awkwardness in how they're getting the co-captain to make a signature for the paperwork. Hilarious. And then in the scene after that, where they were getting a karateka as another member who's also good with like technology, or at least a little bit. There's an awkward moment in the way she tries to sign it somehow. Great attitudes overall from most of them. Like they're very polite, great politeness. Honestly, if I were in their place, I would be behaving the exact same way they were behaving. Like I would be super polite, I would be super respectful, from following protocol, following this, following that. But then also getting awkward when like, oh yes, let me sign it, Captain. Oh yes, I am honored. Kansha shimasu. I think that's how you say it in Japanese, or at least one way to say it. But yeah, you know, that sort of thing. And so they become very relatable. I like Gento too, though. I like Gento. His overall attitude. Really, really nice to see. You can tell the kind of captain he is. I do hope, however, that we see the squad that he had before. I thought that's what it was gonna be. This was a little bit of a twist to me. Scarred, like I thought that was Scarred that we saw in the last episode. Or at least it was gonna be the main squad, like, you know, the ones that had, like, it was at least a dozen people, all, you know, all together. They were kind of split, but overall it was like a dozen people together. And they, wait, hold on. Sorry, just checking something. Yeah, I thought they were gonna be like the main squad that Gento is the captain of. Wasn't quite like that. Wasn't quite like that. So yeah. So Scarred, it also allows the cast not to be too big, not to have to pay too many actors maybe, because you know, too many actors as main or recurring characters rather than extras. How many are they? There are 5 Gento and 4 people under him, one of them being the co-captain. But yeah, 5 people overall. And there's gonna be other cast members, the captain or the officer, the higher up, let's call him, that appointed Gento to be the leader of Scarred. I like him. He's very, like, super straightforward, but in a good way. He's the kind of captain you like. Like, you know, he's saying things like, hey, you have to investigate a Blazar, interrogate him to see if he's a friend or not. Like, I can't understand 100% the position he's coming from. He didn't come across as aggressive or, like, evil to me or anything like that, which kind of maybe was the intent, you know, to make you wonder if he's really a good person. To me, at this point, you know, I don't see those kinds of characters immediately as bad or anything like that. Like, I understand like 100% where they're coming from. I would probably be similar in their position, I don't know. A lot of relatableness with a lot of characters, but I am multidimensional. I find a lot of relatableness, is that even a word? Anyway, I find a lot of relatableness with a lot of characters, evil or good, neutral, whatever. So yeah, you know, that's what makes it always so much fun for me to watch things, watching the interactions between each of them and seeing each character be so true to themselves most of the time, you know? So I can't wait to see what else they're gonna do with Blazar. You know, these are still the early episodes. The main points are to introduce everything that the series is about. Characters got introduced last episode, but really this was the one that introduced the most characters that we're gonna see be recurring. The entire Scar team, the higher up of Gento, I don't know what the name of his position is. Chief Officer, Admiral, I don't think it's Admiral, it's not like a navy. But yeah, it's not an armada of like ships or something. They say that as well for Star Trek, but it's like spaces and oceans sometimes there. In a good way though, in a good way. I really need to watch Star Trek more and like talk about it more. Ugh, like I really need to do that. But yeah, I can't wait to see how Blazar continues the Ultraman, how it's very much an Ultraman series. It already is, but I want to see what else they do. Again, I'm super curious to see if what I heard is true, that they're gonna really go out of their way to make it be standalone, you know, until Blazar's returns later, hopefully. Make it be super standalone and no other Ultra from before is going to appear. Until a team will move in the future. That's what they've been doing with this new generation Ultra. They're not doing it like Kamen Rider, in which with the start of the Reiwa era, they kind of start a new era. Rather, it's still the continuation of what they started in the early 2010s. So each era is maybe 20 years or so. Maybe by the late 2020s here, you know, 2029 or 2030, we're gonna see a new generation come up, an entire new generation there. Something like that. Something like that. I think it might be good to see. This new generation that started with Zero. And his name is Zero, right? Ultraman Zero. That's a great point in which to start a new generation. That's why Toei had 01 be the first Reiwa rider. Maybe that's what they were planning all along, all the way back in 2010, I think it was, when they introduced Zero. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past Tsuburaya to have planned it like that. But yeah, those are mostly the things I think I had to say about Ultraman Blazar episode 2. A solid second episode. We finally saw the intro. I need to listen to the song more to really learn it. You know, I want to start singing them every Tuesday, maybe. Before Toku Tuesday. Tulas, ba 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 bam ba bam ba bam. And the King-Ohger song I really need to learn. I need to learn the full-size version of that. I would love to sing it in a future karaoke stream. It's such a kick-ass song in such a good way, you know. It's so good. I really like it. So I'd like to see more with that one. Yeah, because I heard it a little bit before I saw the second episode. Somebody posted it somewhere, and I couldn't resist hearing a little bit about it. It's a great singer there. Like, really, what's the word? Really going for high notes, really going for something high. It's a song that would require some extra effort for me if I wanted to sing it. And I would like to give it a try for that reason, you know? Really give it a try for that reason. And then the ending song, second time I hear it too. I usually don't even hear them like outside of the series until we're like 12 episodes in, and at that point I've already learned like TV size or something. And because I learned it like this, now I do know it. Now I know at least what the TV size sounds like, and that's what makes me want to listen to it more. Knowing it is what makes me want to listen to it even more. It's so funny. I need to do that with music. There are some other songs I need to be listening to right now that are important for me to learn. For reasons. Okay? Okay. Let's take away the Blazar logo. I think we are ready to now start talking about... I guess I did have a few things to say after all. And I'm a blabbermouth. I talk like fast. So I thought I would run out of things to say about Blazar early on, but apparently not. That's good. But I need to make more of a solid plan for what we're gonna do for future talks. For the future Toku Tuesday talks. Tajigen Toku Tuesday talk. Alright, let me get the Geats logo. Well, Geats. Geats, todas to last, come in like that, Geats. So, give me a second, I'm finding the logo here. Dun 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 dun. Todas to last, dun 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 dun. Whoa, dare ga kizutsuke shimatte. Da 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 da. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Todas to last, yeah. So Geats. So I kind of still need to catch up with Geats, but from what I saw, Bafa and Geats are finally like properly on the same side, and Bafa like has gone back to, well, he wasn't exactly evil. He had a certain purpose that drove him, but you know, gone back to being a good guy, so to speak. Gone back to being more heroic, let's say. That's the best word I can use for this. It's the most appropriate, truly the most appropriate in this case. So yeah, you know, he has truly gone back to doing that. And it was great to see a confrontation between Buffa and Tycoon. Tycoon has gotten far beyond what he originally intended. The evolution, the character development, his story has become so good. Like, Takahashi Yuya does not disappoint, man. What is his most driving force in the current situation is that he just wants to save his family right now and to at least have his own good world. Because striving for world peace, he was aware of how ambitious that was, I think. I think he was aware of that. However, at some point something's gotta give. At some point it's too much when his sister dies like twice, his parents get revived and then they just die again. And by the way, Buffa was the one that killed Sarah. So it makes sense because he was killing all riders when last I left, so at some point he was gonna kill Sarah. This does make me even more curious to see where Kamen Rider Tycoon meets Kamen Rider Shinobi fits. Obviously it has to be before that. Although Sarah didn't transform in that special, but I didn't see the entire thing actually. I have seen just a few scenes. Eventually I'm gonna watch the whole thing. That's my plan. Nearly the entire thing I saw though. Like I saw the fight scene afterwards. Or did I see the whole thing? I think I did see it. Huh, wait a minute. I don't remember. Gosh, my memory can be funky like that. Anyway. So yeah, Tycoon at this point just wants his own peace. And I loved there was a certain line he said, which is what makes this so believable, seeing him so focused on this right now. What line he said when I keep forgetting her name, but the navigator that's now they're trying to make her a goddess of creation. I keep forgetting the name, but yeah, her. He was like, what happened to your goal of world peace? Like, yeah, that's one of the things you have to ask him. And I'm so glad she asked that question, and his response was one of the best, like the best, exactly the kind of response I was hoping for, which was something like, let me paraphrase. If I can't even have my own world be at peace, what's the point? Like, you know, worry about yourself first. It's not about being narcissistic or selfish when you say that. You truly need to have your own affairs in order before you want to put others' affairs in order. Your own health needs to be good if you want to be saving other people's health. Physician, heal thyself. The doctor has to heal themselves first. The astrologian in Final Fantasy XIV, I gotta heal myself first before I heal others and stuff like that. So even if my own world can't be at peace, how can I make the rest of the world be at peace? And there are so many forces that he can't control, so many forces just more powerful than his desire here. So just being able to try to get his own family to be alive is more than enough effort. So he can't even focus on world peace like this. How could he? How could he? Like this. How could he ever? And I love that they showed that. I think there was that nuance to it, that they were implying it was like that. I don't know, I always read a lot of nuance to a lot of things. Everything seems very deep to me, seems very multidimensional. And I'm not saying it just because I am multidimensional, like, it really is the best word to describe it. Like real life is, I guess you could say. Now, that's enough about Tycoon, because the actual main focus of this episode was about Nago, Neon. I love her name so much, Kurama Neon Kurama. Yeah, I tend to do the Japanese pronunciation for that one, which is also the Spanish pronunciation for that. It's really interesting how some words borrow from like American English in Japanese, and some words just don't, just are their own thing. Neon is like one of them that's just kind of their own, its own thing, right? It's also like the variance of word evolution. When you see like Latin languages, Spanish, Portuguese, French, etc., there's similarities in them, and then there's differences in them, and sometimes you see a word that's not similar to within them, only one of them has it, but then another language that's completely unrelated to them has it. Just the way languages have evolved. Oh yeah, we could go on a whole tangent about languages. Let me drink some water though. Let me take some water here before we continue talking about Nago. So Neon-chan, Kamen Rider Nago. So finally, even without the catch-up, I can say this. Finally, Kamen Rider Geats got to that point in which Neon's parents don't... It's not like they hated her or anything, but they really didn't see her as their true daughter. They were just like, especially her father was like, always so anxious, so sad about the fact that this is not the real daughter. And even they do love her, but that also makes it even worse because it's a different love than the original one. And the thing about love is that when your loved ones are in danger or your loved things are in danger, even when they're not, there's always this anxiety that they're gonna be. And when they actually are, well, it's very painful. That's the thing about love, it comes with a lot of pain. And this one was not complete love because there's still that thing in the back of their minds saying, this is not our true daughter, this is not Akari, this is not Akari. And so, yeah. The pain of that love was even worse than the pain of complete love. So finally they got over that. This is something that had to happen in the series, 100% had to happen. And finally in episode 44, here we are. But that's the thing, like, I think Yuya Takahashi just wrote it in a super clever way. For us to get there. At least that's what I'm thinking, because I haven't caught up with the last 9 or 10 episodes, like before 43. And so it's weird because when I was last watching, it wasn't that long since Berova made the revelation of what Neon actually is. And then like I skipped like 9 or 10 episodes, and it's only until this that they're doing it. Like I came out of a time warp. It waited with me to do that with me, to resolve that plot line like that. But again, Yuya Takahashi has not disappointed at all, to me at least, with what he did in X8 and 01. So I have more than enough faith that he's just doing excellently here. By the way, I didn't even read the summary for this episode. Let me also look at Yuya Takahashi. Am I saying the right name? Do I just have the name of somebody completely unrelated? No, it is him. Okay. I think I've been saying the wrong name all the time, like the clown I am. Or am I? No, this is weird because I'm seeing one that is a Dragon Ball animator for Super, and then the writer. No, I think it is Yuya Takahashi. Takahashi Yuya. Let me see. Yeah, I got it right. I'm not that clownish today. X801 and Geats. And his apprentice, if I'm not mistaken, is the one that's writing King-Ohger right now and doing an unbelievable job. There was a great turning point in King-Ohger. We'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah. So that's the main thing that happened with Nago. Beroba, yeah, like some bad things are happening to Beroba. She kind of starting to break down. I didn't quite get that. I was kind of distracted for a moment when she was like breaking apart for a moment, so I didn't get what the whole thing was about. And also, you know, the episodes I missed probably play a part in it. I'll catch up if I can. King-Ohger and Geats, you know, I'll catch up with them both. But yeah, this is the creation arc. Let me see, episode 44. Dai 44 wa. This is episode 44. So yeah, like I said, I said it last week, I think, but if it keeps going like this, it's gonna be exactly 50 episodes for Geats. Or maybe even be more than 50, but if I calculated that correctly, like assuming that Gachart debuts on the first Sunday of September, then it doesn't have that much left. It is kind of setting up towards the end, but at the same time, it feels like it needs even more episodes to actually be at the end game. So I'm starting to think that perhaps Geats, or rather Gachart, is gonna start in October, and Geats is going to have even more episodes. It's gonna go beyond 50, which a lot of Rider series, most Rider series haven't done. You know, fun little fact here, the longest running Rider series, the original series, right? 98 episodes. But then the second longest Rider series is the reboot that later wasn't a reboot, Kamen Rider, or rather New Kamen Rider, or rather Sky Rider series, which right now is still my favorite Rider series of all time. 54 episodes. Then the third longest running at 53 episodes is Kamen Rider Wizard. Because of the last two, so 51. The main plot is resolved, and the last two episodes with returning riders, where they team up. Great stuff. But yeah, you know, the third longest is a very recent series, I was gonna say, but it's already been like 10 years. Recent enough. And the reason why is because it had those extra episodes. Why did it have those extra episodes? Because Gaim, after it, started in October, because they expanded that for another month for that time. X8 had 45 episodes only because they returned to September and it had less episodes than usual. So, that's the way it went. So what does this mean for Geats and Gachart potentially? Well, if they push Gachart to start in October, or late September even, Geats is going to exceed the 50 episodes, which will be fun. I mean, a series like this having more than 50 episodes, I'm all for that. Sign me up. I think that sounds like a lot of fun. And I would love to see more of that. Alright, let me drink a little bit more water. Alright, so let's see the synopsis. You gave me a heart that loves people. Kamen Rider Gyago sacrifices himself and succeeds in rescuing Neon. Kose, after taking an attack from Premium Beroba, cancels his transformation and loses consciousness in front of Neon. Having become frustrated by the uncontrollable gang riders, Michinaga enters their hideout and confronts Keiwa. Believing Geats and restore the world back to normal, Michinaga transforms into Buffa and fights Tycoon Bujin Sword. Kose then reaffirms his love for Neon with his wife Irumi, saying, "It contains my feelings." He gives Gyago's ID core to Neon, and yeah, that reminds me. Gyago, or rather Nago, had a new form, and this is what I think is gonna be her final form. I thought that, you know, I forgot what the name of the ID core was called, but you know, I forget the name, the buckle, the beat one, the beat one that she had that became her main form. What was it called again? I forget. The race buckle that she had. Yeah, this was Nago Fantasy. This is her final form, I think. Right, like Tycoon Bujin Sword, that's Tycoon's final form. Geats Boots Mark 9, that's his final form. Yeah, Buffa doesn't seem to have a final form here, it looks like. If we give numbers to riders in here, I think Buffa is like Rider 4. The first rider is Geats, the second rider is Tycoon, the third rider is Nago, and Bappa is a fourth rider here. You know, I always think 4 is a really good number to go for. I'm kind of biased in like my first experience with Kamen Rider, which was Kamen Rider B3, the video game. And I always like, it was always 4 riders for that for me. Even though Riderman and Ichigo and Nigo never really interacted in there. You know, it was Ichigo and Nigo in B3 or B3 and Riderman. Riders 1 and 2 never interacted with Riderman, but still, it all felt like 4 together like that. This is why I also love the Kamen Rider X movie. But, you know, Rider 1, Rider 2, B3, Riderman, 4 of them. And then, starting with like Kamen Rider Blade, it kind of became a thing every other series, or, you know, in a series here and there, that you would have, hold on, just checking something quickly. Yeah, you would have 4 riders as the 4 Heavenly Kings, or like 4 important positions there. Let's see. B3 did it in a way. Then it was only until Blade. Hibiki didn't do that. Kabuto, depending on how you see it, it did that, but not really. Deno, no. Kiba, Decade. Decade kind of did that at the end with Movie War 2010. Decade, the end, the alternate Kuga, and Kibara. All 4 of them together fighting. Then, yeah, Double didn't do it. O's, not really. Force didn't do it. Wizard didn't do it. Gaim, depending on how you see it, did it. I guess it wasn't that many series that did it. But no, hold on, we're gonna get to more. And also when they're a trio, it's always good. Like, you know, Ghost, Spectre, and Necrom. But yeah, by the way, it's time to talk about King-Ohger, but let me keep remembering these series here. Let's see, we were at Gaim, right? Gaim didn't really do that, I don't think so. What is after Gaim? Drive, they had a trio instead. After Drive is Ghost, I just mentioned is more of a trio. Then the next one is X8, they had 4. X8, Brave, Laser, and Snipe. Not in that order. The Snipe before Laser, I think, but yeah. That's the way they did that, I like what they did. There's a particular scene where like X8, Brave, and Snipe are like together. But you know, what some people don't realize if they don't know about X8 is that Laser is also there in his bike form, because X8 is riding him in bike form. Near the end of the series is where they do that, and they have a similar shot in the opening, or like the exact same shot in the opening. I don't remember, but yeah, yeah. After that, Build did it very straightforward like that too, with Build, Cross, Grease, and Rogue. Geo did it again on, well, at least until the end when Tsukuyomi came in. 01 kinda, oh yeah, it did that with Metsubo Jinrai. Saber, not really. Revise did that, I think. You had Revi and Vice, if you count them both as one. Live, then, what was Sakura's rider form? I forget name. Jin, or Jan, I forget the pronunciation. And Demons. Yeah, those were the 4. But anyway, let's begin talking about 5, or rather 6, or even 7 if you count Reckless. Let's talk about Osama Sentai King-Ohger. This is 100% King stuff, you know? King stuff right here, so good! So good. Let's see the summary. Let's go to the Sentai Wiki. So yeah, let's see episode 20. So the biggest turning point that they did here was the duel between Reckless and Gira yet again. This time Reckless is the one that gets thrown off a hill and thought dead. I'm pretty sure he's not dead. I'm almost certain he's not dead right there. And Gira is gonna rule shoot Gotham, at least until Reckless comes back to challenge him. Finally, after so freaking long of trying to force this plotline, in my opinion, finally people see Reckless for who he truly is. Gira kinda, you know, gets his respite. Reckless kinda gets his comeuppance, though, you know, I can't help but love him, though. I can't help but love him. He still has such a great kingly look and vibe about him. It's not just the outfit, which looks fantastic. It's also like the way he carries himself. It's like done so freaking well. So freaking well. And what else was I gonna say? And the duel was great. I was like, why are they doing the duel again and doing a lot of parallels of the first duel they had many episodes ago? Well, is because they wanted to change the status quo like this. This episode did not have the opening. They just put the title. And the moment I saw that, I knew that something very groundbreaking was gonna happen here because, yeah, they did this before in X8. I think 01 may have done it. Build, I think, did it too. Geo, I think, didn't do it. But yeah, like, it kind of happened with those series. It was really cool. And so, yeah, like, I know something big is gonna happen, and something big indeed happened. Oh my god, every character is still great. Rita Kaniska is still the GOAT. She's doing her job. She's still, like, the arbiter of everything. The judge. And the duel was great. I like to see Reckless with the crown. Like the O form? Oku Agata Oja form, I think is what it's called. I don't know if he wore it before in the episodes I missed, but that I still need to catch up with. But yeah. I definitely want to see more of those forms. Again, I can't help but wonder because current standards, you know, demand that listen on Rider, but I think Sentai is kind of affected by this. Current standards of modern Toku shows demand that you have at least every other episode a new form of some sort. A new rider, a new ranger, a new mecha, a new part of the giant robot, a new form for the rider, something. That's how Geats has been, that's how Saber was, that's how Revise was, as far as I know. Like, that's something that I expressed concern about before. That I feel like when they no longer do that, the series that doesn't have like a new form every episode or every other episode, you know, a new form can also mean a new rider. It's a new suit or a new toy. The moment they don't do that, because they keep raising the bar higher and higher, they can't ever raise it lower, because if they do that, that series is gonna be in trouble. Like when Go Busters, even though it's a fantastic series in my opinion, when Sentai struggled because of what happened with Go Busters, you know. When that happened with Go Busters, like, Sentai nearly went bankrupt and nearly got cancelled. They had to do what they did with Kyoryuger. Dinosaurs again, let dinosaurs save Sentai once again, and they definitely did. They went all in, you know, even having extra rangers. Going all the way to make extra ranger suits that didn't even appear in every episode, I mean. They spent some budget on that one. So I'm hoping that if they ever need to raise the bar lower, because they need a change of pace maybe, for example, they don't suffer from that. They don't suffer from that. But for now, they seem to be okay. God chart, you know, it's gonna be cards, and right now, and I'm talking about Rider, not about Sentai. Yeah, you know, the card theme and the fact that they're even potentially selling booster packs of that, like, I think it's gonna be more than fun in introducing new toys or something like that. I can't wait to see what that's like, though. I think I'm gonna love the hell out of it. Hopefully, I'm not wrong about that. But yeah, King-Ohger was fantastic this episode. Kaguragi Dibowski and his sister, Susume, I think she's called, they shined. Reckless was amazing. And then the little plot twist of like his advisor. Oh yeah, Boshimar. Yeah, like, the thing about Boshimar, so that was the advisor of Reckless that apparently was Prime Minister Kamejim. From the Ragnarok. He killed the original Boshimar, and we don't even know how long he has been Boshimar. How long he has been pretending to be Boshimar. That's crazy. So I really need to go back to like a lot of previous episodes to do that. Oh yeah, and I'm kind of confused. So I'm looking from the wiki that he only had 2 appearances, but no, he didn't. No, his first appearance and his last appearance. Yeah, they still haven't updated that with the other appearances. I think that's the thing that's missing. But yeah. And then the other advisor, I need to know about him. Yeah. I don't remember what happened to him. He was kind of about to get executed. I think he kind of abandoned Reckless, but yeah. So let's read the synopsis of this. Kira, who's driven the Ragnarok away from Shugot Dam, decides to have another trial by combat with Reckless. With a large number of people watching, the brothers finally come to terms with their fateful confrontation. Who will be the true king of Shugot Dam? I pronounced Shugot Dam kind of funkily. Like, I tried to have a hybrid between the English and the Japanese pronunciation. Shugot Dam, I'm gonna start saying, but yeah. Oh my god, like, it's something else. It's something else. It's really something else, isn't it? Like, the duel between Heracles and Geats. I was gonna say Hercules. Heracles is got a similar name to that, but yeah. Geats finally is the king, and he's still like, it's kind of interesting. Like at times he's going for the whole tyrant king thing. You know, he's a good guy that behaves like a villain. That's what I love about him so much. You know, I aim to be that character. Like, I always like want to do good things in the games we're playing, but I'm behaving like a mad maniac while I'm doing that. Sort of mad villain there. And Geats does that so well. But he also, I can tell, is done in a way, like the actor is doing it this way intentionally. Why am I not able to be centered? Hold on, let me recenter myself. But yeah, he does it in a way in which when he's laughing like a mad king, you can tell he's pretending to do it, but also doing it in a super confident way that makes it believe it. Like you're not really sure that he's doing it, he's faking it, or he's really just like laughing in your face, just being very cheeky about it. And he switched a lot between being like that and being more heroic. And I would like him to keep that Tyrant King personality. Like, that's the whole point of him. That's what I thought always was the point of him, that you can see he's doing good stuff, but he's always laughing like a maniac, like me. Like a maniac, like me. No, but and he's saying, "I am the evil Tyrant King, you filth, I will kill you and murder you," and this sort of thing. I want him to keep it. I want to see him keep that. I want to see him keep that when he's the king of Shigoddom. Let's see how many episodes this lasts for. I hope it's at least one coup. Like at least 10 episodes or 12 episodes or something like that. Yeah, I get the feeling like in the early 30s, the status quo is gonna change again. I want to see what they do for these next episodes. I need to catch up to really to really guess what they're gonna do. So yeah, before we talk about the future, let's talk about the past a little bit. One thing I was also wondering about here was just what the hell is going on with Heracles, you know? I don't know if I missed anything in the last episodes. I don't think I did, but that whole thing, like Heracles being so kind when he was a kid to Geats, and I'm pretty sure he's the reason Geats was like lost from the family for a moment. There's a lot of mystery going on with that we still need answers for, and you know, there's like maybe 30 episodes to go or something like that. So I'm hoping we will get those answers. But what the hell happened to Heracles? I keep thinking that he has some other ulterior purpose, some other noble purpose for acting so evilly, having such greedy ambitions and all that, but this episode kind of makes you think that he's just like very greedy and evil and wants to be a tyrant and all that. That's the whole contrast, right? Like also what I was talking about regarding Geats before, that he's the one that's doing heroic actions while acting evilly, while having like an evil, well, not evil, but like maniacal personality. And Heracles has a super noble, super like benevolent personality, but his actions say otherwise. Like, I think that was very brilliant. Let me see who the writer of the show is again. I'm pretty sure it said they are Yuya Takahashi's apprentice. Yeah, okay, well, understudy, rather. Minato Takano Minato, is a Japanese scriptwriter who serves as the head writer of Osama Sentai King-Ohger. He is best known for his work in the Kamen Rider series as an understudy of Yuya Takahashi. Yes, I want to see what he did for Kamen Rider. His writing has been really good so far. I did think the only thing I didn't like was how much like the whole fugitive prisoner Geats, you know, fugitive hated prisoner Geats was like nearly all the time. How they kept trying to force that status quo. Like, I mostly didn't like that, but yeah. So okay, yeah. So he wrote Kamen Rider Heisei Generations, Dr. Pac-Man vs. X8, and Goes with Legend Riders, an unbelievable movie. Like, the writing was great there too. Like, that was one of the things that was great about it too. The way all the writers interacted with each other. And it was supervised by Yuya Takahashi, but like, it was still great by Minato Takano. Kamen Rider X8 Tricks, Kamen Rider Genmu. Okay, yeah. There wasn't that much to that one. Actually, no, there was, yeah. A few things. But also Kamen Rider Brave, Let's Survive Revival of the Beast Rider Squad. So that was a great special featuring Kamen Rider Oja, King Dark from Kamen Rider X, Foundation X, like it was so good. Kamen Rider Snipe Episode 0. So like the XA spin-offs for the most part is what he did. Then in 01 he wrote 2 episodes, 23 and 24. And then Project Thouser as well. So yeah, he was working on what his teacher, let's say, Yuya Takahashi, was working on. So yeah. Now he has a whole Sentai series to himself. He's not being supervised by Takahashi. And I think he's doing a splendid job for the most part. I think he's doing brilliantly in there. And so I can't wait to see what the rest of King-Ohger has to offer. I think it's going to be fantastic. I think he's going to do brilliantly in what he's doing for Osama Sentai King-Ohger. Let me drink some water here. And also let me think of what else there is to say about this episode. Yes, I just realized, I think, yeah, there was no giant robot fight, right, on this episode? They had a fantastic one last episode, I think, to make up for the fact that they knew it wasn't going to be, hold on, let me recenter myself here. Oh, man. Every time I feel so decentered. Okay. Okay, this is the best I can center myself, but yeah. Yeah, you know. That's how they did it with King-Ohger. And I love it. Can't wait to see more. The way, like, the strong personalities of all those characters, every one of them is so charismatic. You know, the King-Ohger's here, Rackless included. It's just written so well. How unique everything is, how true to themselves every character is and every kingdom is. Their interactions are so genuine, so genuine, and altogether they make a great team while also being great individuals on their own. Like, oh man, it's portrayed so well. And again, like the incredible production quality and the new modern standards brought now to King-Ohger. I haven't seen Dawn Brothers yet, but I wonder how much of that was in Dawn Brothers, because King-Ohger I think is the first of a kind in Super Sentai. Standards that I hope remain with the next series. Like, I think it's gonna be more grounded. It's gonna go back to like modern day, not another world with like different kingdoms and stuff, but rather current Earth basically, with like hold on. Why am I not able to get centered? Like, every single time, like, something in my tracking has kind of been weird. On like my VTuber self, on the VTuber software, I mean. So weird. Doesn't feel like I'm ever centered. But anyway, yeah, those are the things I gotta say about Osama Sentai King-Ohger. I might continue to say the same thing every week, like, oh my god, the modern value, the direction. Yeah, the direction was really good. Like, the transition from scene to scene was really well done also. I really enjoy seeing that. So that's what I'll say about Osama Sentai King-Ohger. You know, all these things can be said for every single one of these series here, for sure. But I think King-Ohger is the one that has it the most. So yeah. Yeah. That's what I really had to say about that. So let's finish. Let's finish talking about Geats, Blazar, and King-Ohger. So what is the final rating I give each episode? Well, again, I think it's the same as last week. I think it was 9 that I gave everything last week, right? So let's see. Ultraman Blazar number 2. I mean, yeah, like 9. I mean, I feel like 9 is a little bit high because like it's still very early. Like, kind of feels like it needed to do more, but when I think about it, that's not true. Like, it did what it needed to do for a second episode. Everything was fine. It was a nice kaiju fight. It's gonna be a 9. It's gonna be a 9. Like, it's looking very solid so far. 9 out of 10. Then Geats number 44. I don't see a reason why not give it 9 out of 10. I feel like there's a lot of facts that I'm missing here, but it may be because I missed all those episodes. This felt, for some reason, even though they concluded the Neon storyline, the other aspects about it felt like they were more setting up rather than concluding plot lines, or rather like feeling conclusive. But I mean, now that I'm saying it out loud, it sounds weird because, yeah, that's exactly what they had to do. Nago was the main plot here, and the others were kind of to the side, you know? Now, I'm saying nonsense. Anyway, one way or another is a 9 out of 10. Like, it was very solid. Oh yeah, they finished the Nago story in a fantastic way. In a fantastic way, so definitely 9 out of 10. And then King-Ohger, you know what? That's gonna be a 9.5 out of 10. That's not gonna be a 9. It's gotta be 9.5. Because, yeah, it's gotta be 9.5. Because of the way they change the important episode, like an arc-ending episode. The revelation of Boshimar being another person entirely, being one of the Bagnarok advisor, let's call him, instead of the Shugodom advisor. The original Boshiram, or Bashiram, whatever his name was killed a long time ago, apparently. Or at least that's what he claimed. I don't see why he would lie about that. Why he wouldn't kill him. But yeah, that is what happened. That is what happened. And the way they did it was amazing, so that's a 9.5. So 9, 9, and 9.5. Solid superhero time today. Superhero time this week. And for me, Ultraman is part of superhero time. You know, Ultraman Blazar. Can't wait to see the rest of it. I think eventually, if we do this for long enough, we're gonna see the end of it, and then it's just gonna be Gatchard and King-Ohger by the time Blazar finishes, because I think it's gonna be about 25 episodes like the previous series. So yeah, it's probably gonna be like that. So yeah, let's conclude it on that positive note. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to see what they did with Blazar, with Geats and King-Ohger this week. And I can't wait to see next week. I do hope to see you all there, superstars, for next week. I'm thinking of maybe changing the schedule for that one, like the time. But do let me know. 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Central, what do you think would work better? For now though, I hope to see you on the rest of the week streams. Yes, actually, let's talk about them. So tomorrow is the next stream, and it's a collab with Illurin Dire Storm for Fall Guys. He's finally gonna play Fall Guys. And this is great timing too, because today they launch a new Fame Pass. So I would love to grind for those rewards with Illurin, you know, keep winning. I'm gonna carry him, we're gonna win, we're gonna win. Oh yes, we're gonna win. And then back to Final Fantasy Friday, nothing on Thursday, back to Final Fantasy Friday on, well, Friday. World of Final Fantasy, let's keep doing that, you know, it's been so much fun, I can't wait to see what's next. And of course, the same goes for Final Fantasy XIV, Heaven's Sword. And then we skip Saturday, and then back to YouTube here for Japanese learning at 6 p.m. Central, just like last week. Japanese learning stream number 21. Dai 21 wa, episode 21 of that. Alright, 1 second here. Yes, alright, let's get back to the portal here. Well, thanks so much for watching, whether you're watching live or you watch the VOD, especially if you watch the whole thing. Thank you for being all the way here until the end. You absolute maniac, you absolute Tajigen traveler. Let's end it right here, everyone. Happy Toku Tuesday, alright? It's been a lot of fun. Let's do it again next week. Everyone, bye bye, bye bye, bye. Otsukai-sama.